Hello and welcome back to Spirit Mom. Today at Spirit School we're going to discuss Rudolf Steiner, a very important voice from the early 1900s. We're going to specifically discuss a quote he had that has profound implications. The most important spiritual events of any age often remain hidden from the eyes of those who are entranced in a materialistic concept of the world. If this epochal spiritual event were to pass unnoticed, humanity would forfeit its most important possibility for evolution. This sinking into darkness and eventually death. Do you see what he's saying there? He's saying most people are materialistic. The world is in the higher world. The higher spiritual world is sending down help, but the asleep people are going to miss the message. That will lead our evolution to get missed and us to go into death and darkness, like the apocalypse, the nuclear war everyone kept seeing, and then it was zombie apocalypse, and there's all these different things that are going to take over the world. Now it's the one government that'll rule us all, which they're definitely trying to do. I'm not saying these things don't have real roots. However, if we stay spiritually strong, spiritually awake, those roots will not get to grow deep, and that plant will shrivel up and die. But the same can be said for us. If we don't take our roots and plant them deep, then we'll shrivel up and die. So who is going to plant deep roots? For us to plant deep roots, it's actually harder but more rewarding because of the world we live in right now. We're not immersed, unless you move to Sedona, Arizona. They apparently have become like a fully fledged spiritual town. Boulder, Colorado, same thing, fully fledged. There's a town in Italy. There's I can't remember the name. There is these little pockets of place. We're not talking a commune. We're talking a whole town that's being taken over with spirituality, which is amazing, because we need to have deep spiritual roots, but we need to have deep balanced spiritual roots. So we're going to discuss, there's 3 pillars on the tree of life. We want the center one, the Christ one. The other sides are Satan and Lucifer. Fun fact, Satan and Lucifer are not the same thing. Lucifer is the side of spiritual bliss. It is actually the spiritual side. It's just too much so. It's all about the light. Lucifer means the light bringer, the light. He is an angelically bright being. He is an angel, but he's too far on the light side, and he hates this earth. He thinks this earth is evil and dark, and monks that bring themselves into the forest, which I've always said is like a bad thing, that's the Luciferic ascension. There's 2 different kinds of ascensions you can have. Satan's not part of it, so Satan's actually worse. But Luciferic ascension is an ascension type. You can ascend with Lucifer, but it's not a kind of ascension you're going to want, because you're going to miss key lesson points. Christ ascension is where we dive deep into humanity, into the pain, and we help to heal it. Luciferic ascension is where we avoid it completely. We go into the forest all alone and ascend alone. The book of Ra it mentioned this in different language, but it talks about how there's 2 types of ascension: love for self or love for others. The love for others, you actually only need to have 51. I would aim for 60 or higher just for safety's sake. It's 51 or 50 or 51. It's 51%. Service to others, sorry. So service to others. So when we're saying service to others, it doesn't need to be 100%. You don't need to be full on Mother Teresa, but you need to be aiming for that. And service to self, you actually need to be like, it's really close to 100, but it's not 100. It's like 98%, I'm going to say, but I could be wrong on that exact number. Service to self. So meaning if you try for Luciferic ascension, you're probably going to fail, and you'll end up with Satan, which is hell and death, which is, he eats your soul, essentially. He is the materialism. He is grabbing onto the material world. He's against spirituality. He is the cabal, the forces that try to divide us away from spirit. Even like super religious sects, like the old Catholic system and all these religious sects that have turned people atheists because of their strictness and their dogmatism, that's Satan. When that's taking away from spirit, there's a new movement of Pentecostal churches, and they can go evil too, because there's the ones talking about money and just live nothing for money, like nothing's perfect. But they're starting to have a revival of the Holy Spirit and living by the Holy Spirit and the truth of the Holy Spirit. Now that's actually getting more on the mark of where we should be in the center with Christ consciousness. We want the Spirit, but we also want to be anchored in the earth, bringing the two into the center pillar. The center pillar, that should be us. The tree of life. It has two pillars on the side. Both have useful aspects. One's called the pillar of mercy. The other is called the pillar of severity or strictness. It's all about rigidity. Lucifer's all about fun. Satan's all about rigidity. Materialism, spirituality. This is why churches could call spirituality evil. Those kumbaya people in the forest not working, those super hippies, they're Luciferic ascending. They're on that side. The real path is the middle pillar. That's when we do contribute to society. That's when we do try to bring up those around us that are asleep, and it's really annoying. And you don't understand why they're not understanding this, and they're complaining about stupid things of life, and you're like, if you just would believe in spirit, you would be cured. But we don't abandon them like the people off in the forest. And we don't join them and get nothing into the material world. We want the center. This is the message being sent down to us. The balancing, the yoga is all about. Whole foods, balancing. This is why Rudolf Steiner is saying, if this epochal spiritual event were to pass unnoticed, that's this abundance of energy that is coming down to us right now for us to reach out to with just a few tips and tricks that we implement ourselves. You'll start to get the downloads yourself. Humanity would forfeit its most important possibility for evolution. This is it. This is our jump for evolution. You can feel it. It's why people are going crazy, because they're not letting in the download. The download's coming. It's coming, and they're not letting it in. They're feeling the energy, but they're just sucking in the actual world, the news, the fighting, the diseases, the plagues that they keep trying to put on us. Guess what? This isn't old England. This isn't that plague. None of the things they're trying to tell us are real to that extent. Everything has some seeds of truth, but they're tiny little, not relevant if you get centered in thine self. Because you can handle everything, even death. Even if you were to get a terrible disease and die. If your spirit was centered in that middle pillar, you will ascend into the higher realms if that's what you want. But a lot of us have done that before and chose to come back anyways and keep helping humanity, and which seems silly when we're humans, but after we die and our souls go up there, they're like, oh, I'm going to go back and help. Look at those poor little souls. Because it's true. These poor little asleep humans don't know any better, and they're suffering in their agony, and they could be helped. And it just takes us making ourselves better. Then we make our energetic field better, and then that energetic field starts having an effect on everybody we walk around with and everybody we know. The ancient tree of life is a magical symbol that's been used over a multitude of different religions, and it is important and vital for us to start to implement into our lives. As some like to say it doesn't correlate with the chakra system, but it kind of does in the fact of the growth, the starting at the root of the human materialistic level and ascending upwards into spirit. At the top of the tree is the Godhead. That's close to where our crown is, but they're not related. But I think they are. And they come and you become higher and better as you take those steps upward in your ascension. So we want to be good in this material world. We don't want to abandon the material world into the Luciferian side, but we don't want to only live in the material world like the Sam Harrises of the world and Neil deGrasse Tyson of the world and all those scientists that keep us in that bubble when they go on the news as an expert. Yeah, bull. And the pharmaceutical companies that hand us pills to keep us drugged and to keep in the materialist illusion. And even those religions that said the fact that the all is mind means that this is Maya, this is illusion, that was Luciferian. We are not, yes, we're in an illusion, but everything's an illusion. The whole thing's the mind of God. So even outside of the third density, fourth, fifth, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, a billion, however high the densities go, they're all illusions. The whole thing is an illusion made by the all. So you can't go that far and say nothing is real, but you can't go that far and say everything is real. Beyond that, nothing matters. I'm a realist. Don't sully my head with your woo-woo magic. You're crazy. No. We do not want to miss our download chance and end up in darkness and eventually death. Rudolf Steiner had so much to teach us. His schools still exist today. Have you ever seen the Waldorf schools? And some of them are called Rudolf Steiner schools, but Waldorf, I'm saying it bad, Waldorf. I think Blair Waldorf's last name, Waldorf, there we go, Gossip Girl. But they are amazing schools for kids that were designed way back by him, and they still exist today. He taught agriculture and how we can farm using the magic of the earth, using the lunar systems and different plants and how their energies. Like, I'm a certified herbalist, and I specifically took magic herbalism, and I learned about like how they each apply to different lunar cycles. They all have different elements within them. Like, it's a very, 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 very deep world to dive, and it's something that would save our world if everybody else learned how to farm using the magic of the earth. So this is how we're taking the materialist world of the earth, but mixing it with spirit. And now, where are we? The middle pillar. That's just one example of what we can do if we take the earth and magic and mix them together, just like how I'm dressed, right? We learn to dress. I'm dressed. I'm not naked, nudist in the forest, which is all spirit. I'm dressed, but I take the colors and how those vibrations pump out. And so I'm mixing the physical with the vibrations and putting them together. This is why wearing all black is often seen by people that are depressed, and it represents death, because all black has very low dense vibration. Or the brighter your colors go, you get very high vibrations. So a good medium tone is medium vibrations, where one can be sensible. We want that middle pillar. Whether or not it seems like the boring choice, it's not. It's actually the most intricate choice we can have, and it's what the download is coming down about in all its different ways. That is the overarching thing. It is time to join the earth and the spirit together. Once you take Satan off his platform and Lucifer off his, and you bring it together, you have the Christ consciousness, the middle pillar, the stable place for us to grow spiritually and physically as one body. Okay? So I hope that message resonated with you people, because I know you would want to implement it into your life if you fully grasped the concept that we need to live a balanced life. Okay? Goodbye for now. Spirit.